Hello, this is Maria. I'm a stamping demonstrator in Ontario, Canada. And first of all, a Happy New Year to you. Today is January the 1st, 2023. And I thought I would take some time to just introduce to you some of the new products from the new Mini Catalog, which goes live in a couple of days. Most of you have received this catalog now, and if you haven't and you live in Canada, feel free to contact me. My contact information will be at the end of this video. I will show you the inside of this catalog later on. I can't as of today, but I will shortly. Now, another event that is going to be coming very shortly as well is Celebration. And this year there will be only one Celebration event. And if you will recall, this is the time where you would get a free product with every $60 purchased. I will be making some videos on products from this catalog as well. But today I wanted to focus on one particular product in the catalog. Well, I ordered it because I love it, and I love anything related to the ocean and water. And I guess maybe that's because of my heritage, I don't know. But I was born in Holland and came to Canada as a little girl. So it's called Seaside Bay. And it does come with coordinating dies. And guess what? The dies are called Seaside dies as well. If you recall, in past years, months, whatever, the stamps and the dies were given different names. Very confusing. But now the dies and the stamps have similar names. Seaside Bay, Seaside dies. And I wanted to show you a couple of stamps that I made using these particular products. Now this comes with some designer paper as well. Sorry about that. It never fails when I go to do a video. I get a phone call. Anyway, I was about to tell you that it comes with some coordinating designer paper, which is absolutely gorgeous. It's 6x6 designer paper. This is called By the Bay, so it's not quite the same name as the stamp and the coordinating dies. So this is, I'll just show you the paper now while I'm at it. So double-sided. And what I love is that it has some of this gold foil in it. And other of the paper has this, it's almost like it has a pearlized enamel on some of the images. This looks like the sky. This looks like little footmarks from sandpipers maybe, but this is in gold. The other side is you can cut that out and have waves. And that is lovely. That could be like for anything. It could be a sunset, sunrise, or use your imagination. And here's some images of the various sea life. And wood grain and some more, but this time there's gold foil in it. And this one is very nice for a water effect and some more feet. And this time, this sea life, I can never remember the name of all these mussels, whatever. And this is like waves. The colors tend to be like mint macaron, gold foil, Sahara sand, balmy blue. Here's some more of this pearlized enamel. Night of navy. There we go. Some more pink. And of course, there's actually 4 of each of the patterns. In a lot of cases, when you use the designer paper, it kind of does the work for you. And the 2 cards that I'm going to show you, I think I've got duplicates here. And the 2 cards I'm going to show you, you'll see that. Oh, here's a different one here. And in some instances, you can actually die cut the images right out of the paper. For instance, this one, you can use the die to cut this sandpiper right out of the paper. Okay, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so that's the paper. And here's the stamp set there. It's the red rubber stamps, and it has coordinating dies. And the dies, some of the dies cut out the images, the stamped images, and some of them don't. For example, of course, this will cut out the sandpiper, but this does not cut out any stamped images. This cuts out a stamped image. This does not. Okay, and I think you can pretty well tell which one does and which one doesn't. Okay, we'll use some of those. So let's move this aside and get going with card number 1. This is the first card. And I'll bring along, I've got a little kit here somewhere. There we go. I could have used, I used this particular background. I could have used this one as well. You see that? Depending upon what you wanted to, what you were looking for. I kind of wanted a calmer background, but you could have used this one as well to make your very simple thank you card. Here are my pieces. And I used a basic white base, which is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2 to make a top fold card base. And on that, I layered some Night of Navy at 4 by 5 1/4. And on top of that is layered the designer paper, which is this one. This is the back. And I cut that at 3 3/4 by 5. And basically, you don't have to do anything else with the background. So then I die cut the sandpiper right from the designer paper. Let me show you the designer paper if I can find it for you. Of course, now here it is. Thought I left it out for you. Here it is right here. If I get the die. See that? So I cut that right out of the designer paper. Alternately, you can use the stamp and die cut or stamp the bird, and you can stamp it in whatever color you wish. I've stamped it in basic gray, and Sahara sand probably is the best that I like it, or whatever. But anyway, for this card, I die cut it right out of the paper. For this one, but I wanted to show you what it looked like if you stamped it and die cut it. And here's one that I stamped in basic gray, but what I did was I took my light crumb cake and just lightly colored to provide a little bit of color to the bird. And then I took a fine point black marker, because I find that the eyes didn't really come out very well, and somehow or other the bird looks lifeless if you can't see the eye. And then I just kind of highlighted the eye a little bit. So it's up to you which way you like it better. Easy is right from the designer paper, or you can stamp it. So there's the bird. And I die cut this. This is one of the die cuts. this one, and I die cut that in crumb cake, and I sponged it with crumb cake ink along the edges. And then on the inside, I put one of the little embellishments that comes with the set. These flat adhesive backed pearls. You would think they would be bulky, but they're not. And they're very, oh, I just love them. See them? Okay. Okay, so this is my die cut, and I'm going to just take some ink and I'll sponge that. And I'm going to use, actually, I think I'm going to use, Sahara sand to ink that. And I'm using a sponge dauber, and all of my daubers have labels on them. I'll just go a little bit over these markings. And I'll do the lower one as well. There we go. Oops, maybe a little bit more over here. And I'll lay that there. And that's Sahara sand. And I also have die cut 2 of the little grasses, and there's dies for that. That one and that one. And one of them I die cut in soft succulent cardstock, and the other one in mint macaron. Macaron, who knows. And what I did was I took the corresponding ink colors and I sponged them. This is mint macaron. I'm running out of space here. I don't see my dauber here. Okay, well, I sponged, you can see where I've sponged one and not the other, and it does make a bit of difference as to how it looks. Okay, probably find it when I'm not looking. Oh. And then I'll put them in behind here. There is a big one and a little one, and my little one I seem to have dropped somewhere, so I'll just put 2 big ones there. And then the sentiment is from the stamp set. Thank you for everything. And I stamped it in Sahara sand, and I die cut it with one of the other die cuts, Stylish Shapes, which is in the annual catalog, which is this one. And I used this. So let's put the card together. Now I did use some baker's twine as well, which is one of the in color baker's twine. But what I'll do first is I will add the designer paper. This is a new Tombow. My goodness. See if I can get the plastic cover off. Oh, it's already off. And you don't need much adhesive. I think we put way too much adhesive on sometimes. And then I'm going to wrap the baker's twine around these 2 layers. Twice. And I'm going to knot it over on, oops, let's pull it a little ways over here. Now I'm going to use a pair of tweezers to hold. I could bring them with me. Here, wait, yeah. Because I have arthritic fingers and I find it hard to tie a knot and make a bow at the same time. Okay, so I'll make a knot there. I'll hold it. I'll get my tweezers and then hold it right there. That'll hold it. These are my extra fingers. And then I'll make a knot here. There. And then I'll trim the ends. I put one over the other. There we go. Yeah. Now I can add that to the base. Now, if I was using a ribbon that was a little thicker, I would use dimensionals to add this, but the baker's twine is fairly thin. There we go. There's that. So now, I think what I'll do is, I want to just place these. I think maybe I can put the bird there, and I will put this here that will cover the knot, and I'll put my grass behind that. I think that's what I will do, and then this will be above there. Okay, so let's place the bird first, and I put some dimensionals behind the bird already. I believe the bird is a sandpiper. Correct me if I'm wrong. There. And I think I'll put a dimensional behind there as well. I'll do it like this, so that this is actually, let's take this and tuck this underneath there so you don't see it. There we go. That covers up the knot. Now with a little bit of Tombow in the back of this, just tuck it back there. Notice I didn't put Tombow all the way up the grass. There we go. Okay, now this little thank you. Again, I've already put dimensionals on the back there. And here. So I'll get my embellishments, my pick tool. And I'm going to put one pearl in there. You could put two in if you like, but I believe they only make one pearl at a time. Could be wrong. There. That is the front of the card. Now for the inside, what I have done, I'll just lay that there for a second, is I have a piece of basic white, which is 3/4 by 5, put on a piece of Night of Navy, which is 4 by 5 1/4, and that I will add to the inside. Now what I will also add is, when the designer paper is 6 by 6, so when I cut it for the front of my card, there was a strip of designer paper that was left over. This is part of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that to the inside, and that brings the front of the card to the inside. There. Now we'll I'll just add some Tombow. Add that to the inside. And you could do some more stamping on the inside if you wish, but I think this, and that's the first card made with the Seaside Bay bundle. Oh, and you can also add some Wink of Stella to the bird. Now I have done that here, some Wink of Stella. I think if you do it here on this bird, sometimes Wink of Stella will make your alcohol marker, the ink from that, run a bit, and that's okay because that'll give you a watercolor effect. And it didn't do it that much there. That might happen sometimes. So there we go. We have 2 cards. Okay, the first one. Okay, the second one. Let's get my things organized here. Looks like this. So again, I've let the designer paper do the work. And in this case, I have used Night of Navy as my card base, but instead of making it a top fold, this time it's a side fold. And again, this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, scored in the middle. Make a side fold card. And this time, the reason I chose this particular designer paper is because it has the sky. You see a little bit of sand, you see water, you see maybe the beach down here. And I think that goes beautifully on the front of the card. This time I'm not matting it with anything. I'm just using it right onto the card base. Now for my little creatures, this time I also stamped and die cut the little baby sandpipers. So there's mom and there's babies. Now the babies come in one stamp set. That one stamp, all 3 are on one stamp. And again, you can stamp them with basic gray, which is this is a basic gray one, or in this case, I stamp them and then I color them with the crumb cake marker. I did at one point stamp them with the Sahara sand, but they just didn't turn out right. Okay, so I'm going to color these little guys because I didn't do that, just so you could see that. You have a very light hand, and this is the light crumb cake. And again, you don't have to be fussy. You just want to have a little bit of color. See the difference that makes already on these little guys. Then I'll take where did my third little guy go? Oh, no, where did he go? Oh, he went AWOL. Well, I'm sure we'll find him. Where did he go? Well, he's AWOL. And then I'll take my fine point marker and see how the eye just doesn't stamp that well. At least I didn't think it did. Okay, then just a little mark on the eye. See the difference that makes? I don't know why, but stamped images of birds and animals, if you can't see their eyes, they don't look alive. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Okay, so, and I've also die cut several of the seagrass that I'll put on there, and I use thank you again. This time I'm adding a bow made with the ombre ribbon that comes with the bundle. It looks like this. It's very nice to work with. And one nice thing with this too is that if you want it, say Night of Navy, you can actually take your blender marker in Night of Navy and color it. You can also color it brown, whatever color you want. You can apply that to this ribbon. Makes it very versatile. So that's one thing that I'm adding to this card. Okay, so let's maybe add this. Okay, I'm not adding a ribbon around it, so I think I can add this to the card. This is the back of that. Isn't that gorgeous? I almost hate to put glue on that. Make sure when you do this that the sand part is down at the bottom. I think the first time I made this, I had the sand up in the sky. Okay, now I'll just lay this out to make sure that things are going to be okay. Okay, I have a little friend here who is meowing and wanting to become part of this video. So if you see a little orange face pop up, that is my pussycat called Pascal. I'll maybe put a bigger one up here. And if you hear a big bang, it says he's knocked my things over. Those of you who have pussycats know that they will climb where they want to climb. And I'll put just a little one over here. Or maybe I'll put a small grass there. There. And then my ribbon will hide this part of the grass. And the thank you there. I think that'll work. Okay. Although I have made a sample card here, sometimes when I make a second card, it's never quite the same. I tend to make things a little different. Like this guy, I adhered him right to the card front. This time I'm using dimensionals. Maybe have him walking on the sand this time. There we go. And the grass, a little bit of Tombow behind there. Oops, that's a little bit too much glue. Oh dear. Well, we'll make sure that little baby sandpiper's in front of that. There. Now this one, make sure I don't use so much glue this time. Just a little bit. And I think I'll take this. If you think you have too much glue, then kind of use your second item. And there we go. And I'll use a glue dot for my ribbon. Tool and my glue dot and put it on. There's the back of my ribbon. I'll put that right over there. Now my third little guy would have been down here, but I'll put this one closer to Mama. Not quite in the same position, but pretty close. There we go. And then I have dimensionals on the back of the sentiment. And I can put it here. I can, let's just... can change it up a bit and put it here. There we go. And some pearls. And this time I think I'll put the pearls up here. There. So, we have Mama Sandpiper, the babies. One of them went AWOL somewhere. We have the grass. We have the ribbon. We have the embellishments. And we have the designer paper. Now, let's get some Wink of Stella and put that on the birds. And it's just the inside that needs to be done. And I have a piece of basic white for the inside. And this is the strip that I cut off the side. And I'm going to put it along the side again, just like I did with the other card. Just move that over. And again, make sure that the sand is at the bottom. If not, if you did it in upside down, then just turn your paper. If you put it in this way, turn your paper this way. No big deal. And there we have it. So we have the second card. This is the first card. And the second card, made with the Seaside Bay stamp and coordinating dies. Thanks so much for watching.